to another podcast of East Coast Journalist. I am joined here with Amy. Amy, would you say hello?
Good morning. Hello.
Hi, everyone. So what we're going to be talking about today is the corruption of Imagineers and the documents between Attorney John F. O'Brien's office out of Manchester, Connecticut, and the corruption of Christian Watson out of New Britain Superior Court, as well as the corruption of Elliott Attorney Lane. And we're going to be touching on the next podcast, Patricia Lane, Dina Jeffrey, the great forgery artist ever, nominated by Anna Kyle of none other than a document examiner licensed by the state of Connecticut. We're also going to shame attorney Rafael Medina III for not doing his due diligence on East Coast Journalists. East Coast Journalists is committed to keeping you informed and educated. Amy, would you like to say something?
I think it's important for everyone to know the truth about what's going on. So please listen carefully and please share this podcast.
Yes, please share this podcast. This message must go out to Washington, D.C. with President Donald J. Trump III, Vice President J.D. Vance, Doge with Elon Musk, and the Secretary of the State, Marco Rubio. What we have here today is more corruption with the Connecticut collusion of Imagineers. And Imagineers is a New England-based company. Like I said, it was founded by Arthur Anderson, Matthew Anderson, his son, and also, I believe, 5 investors from the Webster Investment Group that bought over Imagineers. As we know, Matthew Anderson's an attorney, a very corrupt one at that. Attorney O'Brien's extremely corrupt. I would never in a million years ever recommend him for any services regarding anything. His wife is a his wife, Jennifer O'Brien, the office manager, pled guilty to tax evasion and also from stealing from her deceased mother. Attorney O'Brien said to me and Karen when we were both alive that this is the most corrupt case he has ever seen in his entire life. Today we have the decision for the documents of Attorney Richard Florentine. We also have other documents that's related to this case. And this case is very simple. Imagineers is stealing from HUD, which is the which is here in Connecticut on 20 Church Street in Hartford, Connecticut, Natalie Neely. And the message is simple. Imagineers has been stealing from not only just HUD, but from their clients that they serve, like in Newington, Wethersfield, wherever they have property management. That seems to be Imagineers' bread and butter. Matthew Anderson should be extremely. He has a beautiful house out in Winsted, Connecticut, and the taxes that Imagineers got, or the HUD amount of money, he stole that money and made these beautiful houses. How many more houses he has? Well, we have the list. We're going to be naming another one on the next podcast. Amy?
A lot of people depend on HUD. And so I know that a lot of people think it's a crucial agency, but there's a lot of corruption going on. So what we need to do is make sure that the government officials are aware of all of the corruption, and the corruption needs to stop. So that's why the White House needs to know about this. So thank you so much for, making them aware of this. And that's why this message needs to be shared. So thank you, Daniel.
Yes, and like I said in the last podcast, it's just not about closure for me and Karen. I want our podcast viewers to think about how many more people will Imagineers hurt. Now, I want you to times that by all the corporations across this great nation. How many more people will they hurt if they don't like your agenda? And like I said, at 117 Wells Road in Wethersfield, Connecticut, that's where I lived. But they have many more locations. And Imagineers is stealing from all of their recipients. They're stealing from our HUD supply. And as our commander-in-chief says, we have a little clip on a video that HUD is corrupt. And some lady talks about what Donald Trump's agenda is going to be. Donald Trump wants to close down HUD and he wants to eliminate over 50% jobs. I think we should eliminate all of the jobs, to be honest. This message really needs to go out to the White House. I want to pose a question to our audience, Amy. How would you feel if HUD I'm sorry, how would you feel if Imagineers went into your house and tried to have you arrested by a person named Patricia Lane who works for the Department of Social Services just for calling the health department or calling any government regulatory agency to come in and inspect something on one of their management properties? Amy, well, how would you reply to that?
Well, I mean, they should have the right to inspect to make sure that things are completely safe. So, I mean, that's what the agency is supposed to do. They're supposed to make sure things are safe. Agencies are not supposed to be corrupt, and lots of management companies are collecting money that they shouldn't be collecting if their properties are not safe. So, I mean, if HUD's not doing their job correctly, that's a problem. So, and I think currently the administration is trying to make sure that the agencies are doing their jobs correctly. If they're not doing their jobs correctly, the agency should not be should not be there. And I don't think he's trying to eliminate the jobs. I think he's trying to reassign jobs to what they should be doing. Do you know what I mean? So there will be other jobs for these people to do what they actually should be doing if they're not doing them correctly.
Precisely. And there is a mold problem in 117 Wells Road in Wethersfield, Connecticut. And yet the Chatham Health District, and you could reach this on the other Patricia, she is the director, and I don't remember her last name, but it is on one of our other podcasts. She's not doing a thing about it to go in there and tell Imagineers that they have a mold problem. They have a senior population in the town of Wethersfield in 117 Wells Road again, and that these people are living in these conditions, these people that are senior and disabled. That is disgraceful. That's disgraceful. All because Imagineers decides to give out money to make the problems just go away and putting the general health public at risk. That's completely unacceptable, Amy.
I agree completely. I agree completely because mold causes all kinds of problems. And I personally have an asthma problem. I've had it since birth. And I mean, but if you never had an asthma problem, mold can cause all kinds of different problems for many people. So I mean, these things have to be these have to be dealt with.
And not only that, but Karen and I wear BiPAP. Karen, when she lived there, she wear the CPAP. So yeah, of course we want the mold to be eliminated. And that's when attorney Matthew Anderson, back in February of 2018, had called me and threatened my family. Matthew Anderson, I'm going to tell you this again, okay? I'm not done with Imagineers and you. I'm going to make sure that a whistleblowing contract is going to be signed, and Imagineers and your name, Math Attorney Anderson, it's going to be put in a Pandora box. As for Attorney O'Brien, shame on you. The Grievance Committee, shame on you. And also, I'd like to name Jennifer Shukla, Jennifer Shukla, the Connecticut Bar Association. She couldn't be any more corrupt than I don't know, the Mickey Mouse crew or anything. Jennifer Shukla gave Attorney O'Brien extra privileges because what? They're in the same bar association, the same gang. That's completely unacceptable. And Jennifer Shukla prided herself on um, transparency and honesty at the bar when she herself is not even being honest. And she actually had two different arbitrators come to the table, and one of them, Stephen Roenick, had actually quit 24 hours before showtime. So then Houston Lowry came. It's a really big mystery on why that they had to juggle around administrators like that. And attorney Jennifer Shukla answer was, "Oh well, things happen." No, Jennifer Shukla, you are just as corrupt as Attorney O'Brien, Attorney Elliot Lane, and Attorney Christian Watson. Attorney Christian Watson, he actually had me arrested at New Britain Superior Court, and I beat the charges, and I had it transferred over to the Hartford Court. It was a dismissal, and I am so proud of that. And I want to say that Christian Watson is one of the most corrupt district attorneys in this area, and he must be on Imagineer's payroll. Amy, I'm going to let you have the last word, and we're going to sum this thing up.
I just want to say that if you listen to this podcast, please share it on all platforms, including Facebook, Instagram, X, and with your friends, and so that they're aware that, you know, HUD is not doing their job correctly. And, you know, sometimes you can't trust lawyers, but if you ever know anybody who's elderly that lives in an apartment complex, and if they ever had a problem, sometimes it's not addressed correctly. So this needs to be shared. And thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate all of our audience. We appreciate you all. Thank you so much.
And as always, exercise your constitutional rights, your civil rights, your First Amendment. Exercise your right to remain silent. Exercise these great civil rights that our founding fathers left us. President Trump, we really need your help on this. If you hear this video, please reach out to our podcast at eastcoastjournalist.com, JD Vance, or even Elon Musk. We really, really do need your help. This is a problem across our great nation, and your office is not aware of it, but we are trying our best to get your office aware of it. We love Donald Trump. President Trump is, he came into our nation. He's making everything better. He's getting rid of the gangs and everything like that. And now he's actually exposing fraud, waste, and abuse with the government. And HUD is definitely one of them. And HUD is not only just one of them, but HUD is on his target to get rid of. And when we actually bring this before the White House, when we go down to DC with all these beautiful documents, which we will have another podcast with brand new documents, we're going to expose you. So in that aspect, I would like to say, God bless the United States of America. God bless our nation. In Jesus' name, amen. Until next time, we'll see you on the next podcast with more documents. Thank you for listening. Have a great day. Bye.
I don't know if you guys heard the news, but Doge led by Elon Musk has proposed making significant cuts to the Section 8 program. Now, this will affect about 3.5 million low-income families and landlords and property owners who depend on those payments from Section 8. They're also talking about reducing the Section 8 staff by 50%, resulting in delayed payments, delays in inspection, and all things Section 8. Now, here's my personal opinion. Of course, I can sympathize and empathize for people who depend on those programs. Having family members and people within the community, I know how this news may feel scary to them. But the truth is, Section 8 was never created or intended for people to stay on for a lifetime. I do believe there should be time limits, maybe 5 years, so it gives you enough time to go back to school, find a trade, get some training where you can secure employment to get housing where you can go in the market and pay those competitive rent prices. Also, it gives an opportunity for the new people in a new group who can benefit from these programs to be ushered in. Also, with those who are disabled or senior citizens, I don't believe those Section 8 programs should be touched for them because there's no way they can go out in this market and afford that market rental prices. So if you are on Section 8, know someone on Section 8, Doge is putting you guys on notice. Get your affairs in order because this program will not look like what you've been accustomed to within the upcoming months. And that's just the truth.